What's happening, everybody? Thursday, June 12th, 2025. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you so much for tuning into Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. I don't know if you guys have been noticing what's happening today. But there has been a whooping, a beating, a shellacking on Capitol Hill over the course of the last several hours as Governor J.B. Pritzker, Governor Kathy the Eyebrows Hochul, and Governor, thank God he's not Vice President Tim Walz, have not been doing so well. Have not been doing so well under questioning for the last couple hours or so. I got it queued up here. And if anybody big comes up, we will be sure to bring that to you live. But a lot of people, many people have, there are a lot of Democratic governors out there right now who are very, very, very happy they were not among the three to be subpoenaed to testify about sanctuary policies in the House of Representatives today. There have been Byron Donalds and Jim Jordan. And wait till you see Elise Stefanik. Oh, we're going to play you the Elise Stefanik clip in full in just a minute as we get Stefanik, Hochul, round one. Hopefully there will be more rounds, but guys, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. We are rocking, we are rolling. Let's pop this live chat. Pop this live chat up onto the screen. How's everybody doing today? Donna, what's happening? AC Knight, how are we doing? How are we doing? How's everybody doing today? Uncle Richie, how you doing? Jeanette, how are you? Let's jump on over to the Rumble chat. Bob R, what's going on? Claire, hello. Skylar, what's happening? Sky, how are you? Speaking of, guys, once again, on Saturday, I will be at the Kings Park Street Fair from, I'll be there like 8 to 6. But the fair goes on from 10 to 4. Come on down, say hello, get involved in local politics. Also, July 13th through the July 11th through the 13th, I will be at the Turning Point Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida. So if you are in the area, come on down and say hello. Come on down and say hello. Kathy's here from Central New York in the Finger Lakes. Well, hopefully we are going to get a clip. Well, you're going to get a clip. But hopefully it is of the next governor of the state of New York. So as I said, Kathy Hochul, J.B. Pritzker, and Tim Walz are currently testifying. And I got to be honest with you, it's not going well. It's not going well for them, as many of their 2028 Democratic hopefuls. It's going pretty downhill from here. We're going to start out with a few. I'm going to save the Elise Stefanik clip because there's a whole lot of them. There's a whole lot of them. Just in case, anybody was wondering why Tim Walz is not vice president right now, here is reason 864,312.
A portion of today's testimony, and I'm going to begin with Governor Walz. Governor Walz, I thought that maybe your statement referencing ICE as Gestapo was an outlier statement, but now that Mr. Lynch has endorsed it, it appears that it could be some type of Democrat talking point. Governor, do you and other Democrat politicians understand why referencing ICE as Gestapo is offensive? I'm going to explain. The Department of Homeland Security is reporting that ICE agents are now experiencing a 413% rise in assaults. We've seen numerous videos of rioters obstructing and assaulting federal law enforcement after your remarks, including in Los Angeles. So, Governor, do you think that comments like that and rhetoric like that put ICE officers and other law enforcement in greater danger?
Well, thank you for the question, Mr. Chairman. First and foremost.
Oh, I miss him. I miss seeing him on the campaign trail. I miss disgruntled, disheveled, jazz hands Homer Simpson. I do. He gave us such good times.
Foremost, Any attack on law enforcement is unacceptable, wherever it's at, whether it's state, local.
So you understand, and I've got limited time here. I want to highlight for the governors that real-world impact of the policies that you all continue to defend, even in your opening statements, have on American families. Earlier this year in Governor Pritzker's Illinois, previously
the clip actually cuts off right there. But basically what they did was they just went up and down the row, talking about how these sanctuary policies continue to hurt average Americans. But when Byron Donalds got the mic, shout out to Congressman Donalds, future governor of Florida. When he got the mic, he asked Governor Hochul whether or not they even keep track of illegal immigrants in their state, and that answer is going to shock you.
$1 billion. I appreciated that very much. What we spend on immigrants, the immigrants who are here hardworking to live a life and working on our farms and taking care of our parents in nursing homes and taking care of our children, they have been coming here for 400 years. And we don't keep track of individuals based on their status. We make sure that people have services so we don't end up with an unexpected.
So essentially what you're telling me is that you keep no track of money that is going to people who are not legal in the United States, resources that are taken away from New Yorkers, resources that are taken away from Illinoisans. You guys do not keep track of any of this.
You know what's really challenging is that many people came here with legal status. I mean, temporary protective status, 300,000.
Do you
all of a sudden they wake up one day and it's gone.
Do you go along with the strategy from the Biden administration, which massively expanded immigration protocols that overwhelmed your city and overwhelmed your state? Do you agree with that?
We call for secure borders. We call for this body to
I never
do its
remember
job.
you calling for secure borders at all, Governor Hochul.
We certainly have.
That
we
doesn't
certainly
sound
have.
like him to my memory.
Many conversations.
Oh, that's going to get run. I'm telling you right now, for my New Yorkers out there, and I know there's a lot of them, get ready for that sentence to be said on television over and over and over again for the next, 15 months or so. We don't keep track of illegals here in New York, but it kept getting worse. As Tim Walz was asked multiple times if he agrees with his state attorney general, who said it is unlawful for counties in Minnesota to hold illegal immigrants in ICE custody. Now, I want to be clear, Tim Walz can't answer this question because he's from Minnesota, and the attorney general of Minnesota is Keith Ellison. It's still Keith Ellison, I believe. Yes, the Minnesota Attorney General. Now, you would think having Keith Ellison as your Attorney General would be the highest position in his life, but of course it's not. Some of you may know Keith Ellison for a different reason. Some of you may know Keith Ellison as the number 2 in the Muslim Brotherhood of America. Yeah, so that's why Tim Walz can't answer the question.
So I'll ask you, Governor Walz, do you agree with Minnesota your Attorney General's opinion stating that it's not lawful for Minnesota counties to hold people for immigration authorities, even if there is an immigration warrant? Do you agree with his statement? That's his statement. It's not yours. I just want to know if you agree with him.
Yeah. Well, I know you know this, Congressman, that all 87 Minnesota counties follow federal law.
I don't know that. I just want to know. I don't know that. Why would I know that?
I'm
I'm just going by your Attorney General.
I haven't
He
got the
says not
chance
to
to
do
explain
it.
it.
Do you agree with the Attorney General? That's all I'm asking.
The Attorney General is elected independently in Minnesota. Nothing in his opinion allows it. In Minnesota,
So are you telling me you disagree with him?
Could I
Do you
have 20
disagree with him?
seconds just to say?
I just want you to answer the question. You're not answering the question.
I served here, Congressman, and there's the respect to the witnesses to just be able to speak.
Yeah, there is, and there should be respect, and that respect from the witness should be to answer the question.
Our counties and jurisdictions can do whatever they deem necessary. They have to.
Do you agree with your Attorney General? Apparently, we don't know because you're not going to answer. You're going to be oblique about it. So
That's unfair characterization. I'm trying to answer. I'm not the Attorney General of Minnesota.
do you agree with his memo? And you're killing time because you're filibustering. Do you agree with his memo? That's all I'm asking.
Nothing.
And you don't want to even answer it. You just say, oh, maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. Let's go to you, Governor Pritzker.
Of course, you can't answer that because, if there's one thing the Muslim Brotherhood really does in Minnesota, It's organized. But, of course, these things have real-world consequences. Real-world consequences when you do not allow federal authorities to do their job and deport illegal immigrants. As a matter of fact, here in New York, shout out to Thompson County, they were unable to hold an illegal immigrant with a warrant for deportation. They chose not to hold this illegal immigrant for an hour and 18 minutes and then released him back onto the street. Here was drop kick number one in Kathy Hochul's day.
Your state supports, and so do these other governors. That is what is so wrong, why the American people hate this concept.
You're conflating what the state of New York does is I control state police and prisons. We have turned over 1,300 people.
So you disagree with it?
We turn over 1,300
people. Did the sheriff make the
people.
wrong call?
Those are local policies that we would not have done in the state of New York. State of New York, that is a
So you're
local
saying the
decision.
sheriff's wrong?
I would say this, if it happened in a state prison, we have already turned over 1,300 people.
Sheriff
in fact,
in Tompkins County,
I
a
want to say
Democrat or
this.
Republican, Governor?
There
Hochul?
have
You have
been
any idea?
times, excuse
The
me.
sheriff in Tompkins County, a Democrat or Republican?
Excuse me. There have
No,
been
excuse
times
me, I
when-
asked the questions, you give the
Well,
answer.
I'm
Is
asking
he a Democrat or
for a
Republican?
second.
Do you know?
I'm asking for this moment to explain that I'm sometimes waiting
I'm asking,
for ICE
is he a
to come
Democrat
pick
or
up
Republican,
people.
and do you agree with the
I think
actions
he's a
he
Democrat.
took? Do you agree with the actions he took? How about that question?
They are in conflict with what the state of New York would do.
Well, maybe they're scared. By the way, he is a Democrat sheriff. Maybe the county guys are a little scared because you said this. I'm quoting from, it looks like the New York Times. We all know you can trust them. This is last month, May 25th. You said we have some counties that are renegade counties and work with ICE. Maybe they're nervous of being called a renegade county by their governor. So the Democrat sheriff says, we're not going to keep the machete-wielding, cop-choking, corrections officer assaulting guy. We're not going to keep him here for you to get here. We can't even wait an hour and 18 minutes. Oh, you know what else was interesting in this case? You know what else was interesting? There was actually an arrest warrant from United States District Court, Northern District of New York, signed by Judge Wiley Danks, magistrate from Syracuse. There was an arrest warrant, and they still couldn't keep him.
The state of New York cooperates. We cooperate in removal of individuals who've served time. We responded to detention. You're confusing, and maybe there's a lesson in civics
will
here
you
that's
say
necessary.
on the record right here, I got 12 seconds, will you say on the record, was Tompkins County wrong in the actions they took on January 25th, 2025, when they wouldn't hold the guy for 1 hour and 18 minutes? Was
Those are
Tompkins
not
County
the policies
wrong?
that we would have in the state of
No,
New York. Those
but-
are not the policies we would have in a.
Were they wrong?
Because I've
should
already
they have turned
said
that guy over to ICE? It's a simple question, Governor.
that was a horrible situation. The person should not have been out there, and
It's a horrible situation, but it's a yes or no question.
it is a response that this is a locality.
Do you agree or
in the
disagree?
state of New York,
Agree or
the person
disagree?
should have been held.
Yes or no?
The person should have been held, and in the state of New York, we would have turned him over. That is in conflict with what we would do as a state
appreciate
with
the chair's
respect to
indulgence.
prison.
I yield back.
And I want to know why ICE won't come and pick up the individuals who have served time in our state. I have cases where they have not even shown
Governor,
up.
a court order and a detainer for a guy who did the things Mr. Hernandez did, and Tompkins County can't hold him an hour and 18 minutes, and you won't say that's wrong?
I have said we cooperate when there's a criminal case where someone has committed
This
a crime.
is
We
sanctuary
turn them
policy.
over.
This is sanctuary policy in a nutshell. You won't even
You're
condemn something that
mischaracterizing.
anyone with common sense knows is ridiculous.
You're mischaracterizing the
I'm
laws
not
of the
scared.
state
I
of
had the
New York.
facts here.
That's
Can
all
I
right.
do one other thing, Mr. Chairman? Now he's been rearrested, and guess what? This guy who's now been rearrested, there is imminent danger that this inmate will do injury
give
to
him a
himself and
minute.
to others and presents a threat to safety, security, and good order of the facility, so he's not permitted to leave his cell. So this guy is not even allowed out of his cell, but they let him out on the street a few months ago. That's how ridiculous this is.
When he does leave his cell, it'll be go back to
Gentlemen,
his country under our
time's
orders.
expired.
of deportation.
Chair recognizes Mr. Mfume, and I'll give you an extra minute.
First off, I want to give a big shout out to the girl sitting behind Jim Jordan for keeping a straight face through that entire thing.
Your state supports-
I'm not sure how she was able to do that. I don't know how any person working in the House of Representatives is able to keep a straight face behind any of that. Shout out John Wilson. I don't know how you did it, bro. I don't know how you did it. But, as we're coming around the mountain here, we, if you're watching on Facebook or X or any of the other platforms, you see my title, Stefanik, Hochul, round one, Giddy up, baby. We're going to get to that in 1 second. Before we do that, guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. That is the best way to support this network, this channel, everything we've got going on this show, everything we've got going on over here. You guys can use promo code RUMBLE to get 20% off everything on the website. That's promo code RUMBLE. Guys, we really do appreciate the support. Click that donate button at the top if you'd like to become a monthly donor. $5, $10, whatever you can do, really does support the movement. Go to loudmajorityusa.com and use promo code RUMBLE. So, who is ready? Who's ready to watch a whooping? Who's ready to see a beatdown? Who's ready to watch somebody from the North Country kick somebody from Western New York directly in the teeth? Here is, I'll say it out loud. She hasn't said it yet, but hopefully if I just keep yelling it from the rooftops, it'll happen. Here is future Governor Stefanik.
Thank you. Governor Hochul, on your first day in office, you signed Executive Order 1. Is that correct?
I believe it is.
And you extended this executive order not once, not twice, but 3 times, most recently January 16th of this year. Is that correct?
If that's what your facts show, I signed countless executive orders.
I would assume you'd know it's
laws.
Executive Order 1. And this is a continuation of your predecessor's sanctuary state policies, correct? Is included in that.
I want to be sure we are defining sanctuary state properly.
I'll define it for you. It is the policy of the state that state officers or employees shall not disclose information to federal immigration authorities for the purpose of federal civil immigration enforcement. It goes on to say, law enforcement officers may not use resources, equipment, or personnel for the purpose of detecting and apprehending any individual suspected or wanted for violating a civil immigration office. Law enforcement officers have no authority in the state of New York to take any policy action solely because the person is an undocumented alien. That's a quote in your executive orders that you extended. Now, do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to get back to the first part.
No,
of
I'm
your
asking a question. Do you know who
Well,
Sakir Akan is?
I want to make sure you understand that this simply says that we will cooperate with ICE.
No, it does not say that. I read what it
We will
says, and let me talk to you about the results. Do you know who Sakir Akan is? You should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car. He took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zapita Khalil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're
These are high-profile cases.
Yes.
New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zapita Khalil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, do you know who Raymond Rojas Basilio is?
I just want to say this. These crimes are horrific.
Because of
And I
your
would
sanctuary
say
state policies.
In all of these cases, we would work with ICE to remove them.
You did not in this case. They are
If they need
walking
our
on the
assistance.
streets because of your policies and your executive order that you signed 3 times. Now, Raymond Rojas Basilio, do you know who that is?
I'm telling you this. I will
You don't know
explain to
who
you
it
the
is.
policies of New York. We cooperate with, I know you're just
You do
trying to.
not. You do not. Specifically, ICE was told not to detain this individual, and he burned a woman alive on the New York subways in Kathy Hochul's New York. So I will keep on going. What about Raymond Rojas Basilio? Do you know who that is?
I'm going to tell you our overall policy, which will address all this.
I'll tell
We
you
do
who
not-
that is. He is an illegal who molested an 11-year-old in our state because, again, of your sanctuary state policies. This illegal was shielded from federal immigration enforcement and able to commit this heinous crime. And what about Wilson Castillo Diaz? Do you know who that
I am
is?
telling you this. We do cooperate fully with ICE in criminal prosecution. Our sanctuary
You're not advocating for
regulations
these victims.
only deal with
This is a
civil
5-year-old who was
enforcement.
raped
Civil
on Long
enforcement.
Island in Nassau County. You are not advocating on behalf of these victims. You are shielding illegals. Even in your opening statement,
That is
you
not true.
prioritize putting illegals first.
That is not
Rapes
true.
of young girls, beatings of NYPD cops by illegals who are here under Kathy Hochul's failed policies, burning New Yorkers alive. This is Kathy Hochul's New York. It's one of the many reasons why you're hemorrhaging support from hardworking New York
These are
families.
horrific crimes, and they're heartbreaking.
They're horrific crimes that are committed on your watch. You signed this executive order on your first day in office. You signed it again and again this January. We deserve a governor who stands up for law-abiding New Yorkers, doesn't put illegals first, but actually puts New Yorkers first. I appreciate
Rather than
the
going
chairman's-
after the viral moment, I suggest you
No,
look
no, no.
at the facts.
I'm standing up for New Yorkers.
No.
Rather than addressing the illegals in New York, you are prioritizing your far-left sanctuary state policies, which you put in place with executive orders. Instead of advocating for
cooperate
victims,
in all
a
those
5-year-old
cases.
who
We
was raped,
cooperate with ICE.
you did not. They were released
We
because
cooperate
of
with
sanctuary
ICE.
state
We
policies in New
cooperate
York
with
State.
law
No
enforcement.
amount of words is going to clean up your failed record and these horrific crimes committed in sanctuary state that you created. And with that, I
Your
yield back.
representation, the facts are
Gentlelady
absolutely
yield-
false.
yields back.
Absolutely
Chair
false.
recognizes Ms. Norton.
Read the sign, everyone. I could watch that for the next 15 months. I don't know about you guys. I could definitely watch that over and over and over again. Talk about, boom, pa, right in the teeth. Kathy Hochul was so shocked by that, her eyebrows almost moved. But as good as that was to see, I got to be honest with you guys, it wasn't the funniest moment of the hearing. The funniest moment, and I got to be honest with you, I'm happy to call him a friend. The funniest moment came from Representative Brandon Gill of Texas, which we'll get to in 1 second. Before we do that, Old Glory Bank.
When big banks decide who gets access to America's financial systems and who doesn't, who do you think gets left out? Middle Americans who proudly wave their pro-America values. Cancel culture in banking is corrosive. It limits your participation in a vibrant, free market economy. Fortunately, you can fight back. You now have the opportunity to invest in the bank that's investing in a fair American banking system, one based in freedom. Ownership in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank, is here. Old Glory Bank is a full-service FDIC-insured bank that's the alternative to overreaching, un-American big banks. We stand for privacy, security, and liberty. We stand for freedom, family, faith, and the flag. We stand for all the values you stand for, and for the values big banks can't stand. So help keep banking in the hands of Main Street, not Wall Street. To invest in Old Glory Bank, go to oldglorybank.com.
Guys, I'll tell you what, beating up on Democratic governors for their sanctuary city policy is easy. You know what else is easy? Switching banks over to Old Glory Bank. Guys, they are the America First Bank. They will not share your data with any governments, with any ridiculous subpoenas, guys. They are the new and improved bank with over 880 ATM locations around the country, guys. Old Glory Bank makes banking easy. I switched my bank, and you should too. So head on over to oldglorybank.com and consider opening up a CD, at the very least, with them. Lock in some of these interest rates while you can. So, the funniest moment of the day, basically, and look, this is Brandon Gill now has he sort of become the guy who reads people's words back to them. The other day he asked a lady who runs a nonprofit whether or not she was a white supremacist, and she wouldn't answer the question, which seems pretty straightforward to me. So today Brandon Gill basically asked J.B. Pritzker if he basically asked him if he sits down when he pees.
Do you think men should be allowed in women's restrooms?
I'm not sure why this has come to this issue.
You
It has
tweeted
nothing
that
to do
as
with
a
immigration.
protest against President Trump, everyone should use the other gender's bathroom today. Have you ever used the women's restroom?
Not that I can recall ever, sir. No.
You wanted everybody else to do it, but you didn't?
Sir, I'm not sure why we're on a topic that has
I'm
nothing to
asking
do
you,
with
you're
today's hearing.
advocating for men to use women's restrooms, but you didn't do it?
I do not advocate that, no.
Well, actually, you did. You said everyone should use the other gender's bathroom today.
I can tell you that you are
Do you regret
politicizing
saying
this
this?
in a way that what we ought to be focusing on is
Do you
the
regret
failure of the federal
encouraging men to
government
use women's restrooms?
and the Congress to deal with immigration reform.
Do you regret encouraging men to use women's restrooms?
Again, you're taking us on topics that have.
Did you ever
nothing to
consider
do
that
with
women don't
the
want you
subject
in their,
that you
in their
invited us here
bathrooms?
for?
Ladies, what do you think? First off, come on. Have you ever used a woman's restroom? Ladies, what do you think? You know what, ladies, let's get your opinion. What are you doing if you walk into the bathroom and see... Oh, Jesus, this is funny, man. Come on. See, this is why Democrats suck. They have no personality whatsoever. They... Let me get a sip. Do you use the women's restroom? I tell you what, Brandon, there you go. That's for you, my friend. That's for you, my friend. Guys, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. We're going to get to more breaking news. At the moment, I'm still watching this, waiting for, I could throw it at any point right now. People are, there are some people out there getting absolutely hammered by the sanctuary city stuff. Who is ready to testify right now? Is she ready? Let's see, guys. Yep.
Crockett. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
And thank you so much to our governors.
Here we go.
I want to say I apologize. I apologize for the abuse that you are facing in this committee that is supposed to be about waste, fraud, and abuse. And I also apologize for wasting your time because this is nothing more than political theater. Now, again, this committee is supposed to be about waste, fraud, and abuse. We did not have to have this faux creation of Doge. The committee itself, that is our job. So what I want to talk about is something that the American people may want to know, which is economically, how is this impacting them? These failed immigration policies that are only put on so that they can have a show because we have a reality show president who seemingly still believes that this is all about TV instead of real lives. So let me talk about something really quickly because I want to clarify something because I believe that all of you understand the importance of something like tourism. Are you aware, any of you, are you aware as to whether or not tourism in the United States is anticipated to decrease to the extent that we are estimated to lose $12.5 billion in international vendor spending in just the year 2025?
I can answer as the tourism capital of the country.
I assume you could.
Tourism's already down. It is down in the North Country where the Canadians refuse to come over because of the hostility toward their country. It's happening in New York City. It's happening at our sporting events. Welcome people from all over the world to visit and recreate and to live here. Now feels like a very hostile place to them. It is going to have an economic impact on our bottom line without a doubt.
So let's talk about it a little bit more.
So let's talk about it a little bit more. I guess she didn't glue on her eyelashes today, but we'll wait. I'm sure there will be more. I'm sure we're going to have more Democratic reps coming up and grandstanding as they do. Grandstanding as they die. I had to show you guys Jasmine Crockett, who apparently thinks that this is all for television. Couldn't let that one slide. I think AOC might be up next. AOC is up next. Let me see. Has she gone yet? I wonder. No. AOC has not gone yet. So we will bring you AOC live because it's just going to be funny. It's just going to be really funny. But let's get to the news because obviously the riots in America have not stopped over the last several nights. That's been the big topic of news over the last several days. Look, things are going to get a hell of a lot worse. A hell of a lot worse this weekend. Let's be clear. When everyone's off from work and they can all go out and they can all get a little crazy. Last night in New York City, 12 police cars were set on fire outside of a police precinct. Now, I know this is mostly peaceful. I know it's mostly peaceful. And for the people out there who continue to claim that these protests are mostly peaceful, my question to you would be, let's talk about, I don't know, your wife. Let's say your wife was faithful to you 92% of the time. Would you consider her to be mostly faithful? Or why don't we just admit that this isn't the best look?
También la de acá.
So as police cars continue to be burned out in the middle of the street, mostly peaceful. I'm sure there's plenty of men out there that would love to get away with being not faithful 8% of the time. You'll be mostly faithful, guys. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. Nothing whatsoever. Guys, it seems like, I gotta be honest with you. Look, I'm a dork, okay? I'm the only person on planet Earth that actually watches these congressional testimonies, like, as they go all the way through, because sometimes, and look, I want to be clear, a lot of the times it's political theater, but every once in a while you'll get some funny stuff. Oh, what's going on? Talib's talking right now. Oh, let's skip her, to hell with that. Every once in a while you get some really funny stuff. We're going to get back to the riots in a second, but I have to show you this, because you guys are regular watchers of the show. I showed you last week that there is a representative from Vermont. There's a representative from Vermont named Becca Balint. Becca Balint is a progressive, and she is a proud lesbian. Now, I want to be clear. I absolutely don't care about that. Not even a little bit. Who you sleep with is your problem. Your concern. Figure it out. I don't care at all. But Becca Balint is also the woman who last week said we needed to continue to import illegal immigrants so that they could wipe our asses. Yep, that's a thing she said. I showed you last week, but I'll show it again in just a second. Before we get to that, here is Jeremy.
Hey, everyone. I really hope you are enjoying the program today, and I hope you enjoy LFA TV as a whole, because let's face it, we're not getting any younger. However, if there was a way to slow down our aging and live a little bit longer, would we do it? I think we would. You ever heard of Fatty 15, folks? Well, Fatty 15 is a brand new supplement that has C15 in it. You might ask, what's C15? Well, C15 is the first fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years that actually prolongs your life. Over 100 studies over many years were done on dolphins because these two doctors were in charge of basically increasing the dolphin population. So they started introducing this fatty acid called C15. And what they found was something amazing. The dolphins were living longer and the dolphin pods were growing bigger. It was an amazing discovery. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you can get C15 introduced into your life to slow down the aging process of your cells. And it's not only going to make you feel and you look younger, but it's going to make your body think it is younger, which means you're going to start doing more things again. There's a thing called cellular fragility syndrome. And cellular fragility syndrome happens as we get older. This is going to reverse it, folks. Fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. That is fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. Get your discount today, folks, and start this new journey to help you live longer. Fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA today. Now, back to the program. Thank you very much.
Guys, go to fatty15.com/LFA. So, you guys will remember last week, Becca Balint of Vermont, who said that we needed to import more illegal immigrants so they could, quote, wipe our asses.
Labor, and of course, we have to come to a place in Congress where it is no longer a political issue, but we see it as an existential issue for the country. If we don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here, I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses because we don't have enough people.
You guys remember that gem, right? Well, she's off. Da-da-da-da-da-da. She's off on another tangent. Apparently, this hearing was about sanctuary policies, and we know that because J.B. Pritzker didn't want to admit whether or not he pees sitting down. Well, Becca Balint decided to, you know what, we're just going to enjoy this together.
And so I've just had it. I've had it with it constantly coming back to somehow that this is a Democratic issue. There are transgender people living in every single district here. And they identify as Republican and they identify as Democratic, and some of them don't vote at all because they can't stand that their government is being weaponized against them. So can we stop this nonsense? You want to have control over our conversations with our doctors. You want to meddle in the relationship that parents have with their child and with their doctors. And it is so difficult week after week after week for you to continue to attack such a small minority of people in this country that just want to live their lives. I don't know what the obsession is, honestly. Because I can tell you, the transgender people in my district, they don't want your help, member from Wyoming. They don't want your help. And their parents sure as hell do not want your help. They want to be able to make decisions in conjunction with their children's doctors. And I just find it so outrageous and insulting that you come here and you claim that this is about a partisan issue. It's not. It's about any child being able to get the health care that their parent deems is necessary to keep them alive. I do not know why, with all of the issues that we have in healthcare right now, from the price of insulin to the fact that we are rolling back all the work that was done on inhalers, to PBMs, to the fact that healthcare systems across this country are falling apart, that this is the topic, once again, that you choose to take up. It makes no sense that this is what we're spending our time at.
I guess she didn't have enough illegals in Vermont to wipe her ass again. Couple questions. Okay. How many transgender people are there in Vermont? There's only like 7 people in total. And 3 of them serve in The government. What the hell are we doing here? What are we doing here? Here we go. In case anybody's curious,
And so I just had it.
Sorry, let me knock that off. Got Congresswoman Milk Dud testifying right now. Anybody want to check in on that one? I think I'll wait for AOC. But let's get back to the riots. Because that's what everybody's talking about today. Oh, the conversation is on illegals. And oh yeah, did things get hot and bothered in New York City yesterday. Check this one out.
Transport vehicle, or if you resist arrest, you may be charged with additional crimes.
Off to the side, You're in the street, you're blocking traffic.
And if there's one thing everybody knows in New York, it's that when the white shirts show up, things are about to get bad. Because the amount of time and effort it takes you to get that white shirt for you to come out from behind the desk, things are about to get real serious. And why are things about to get real serious? Well, it turns out, as we're seeing all across the country, this new tactic has been going on where people are taking mortars like fireworks, and they're doing this.
The activists have now come up to 3rd and Marion, facing a crush of officers. We're patiently waiting, seeing how long this lasts, if this is going to get shut down or not. Wow, they're throwing fireworks and mortars. They just threw fireworks at officers. We're being asked to step back. We'd have to step back. Absolutely crazy. All right, now they're moving in. Move back. Move back! People are getting arrested. Absolute melee. Warnings sent out. Absolutely insane situation. Wow. They are setting up mortars. They're throwing rocks, guys. They're throwing rocks. Get the helmet on. Get the gas mask on. Stay back. Stay back. This is an absolutely chaotic scene right now. Multiple people being arrested here in downtown Seattle. Far-left activists, along with Antifa. They made a move, and officers threw firework mortar that just exploded, and that was enough to send people in. This is a chaotic situation, developing situation. It's like one of several arrests this evening.
The order to disperse. And I am commanding all those.
Now, why do I show you all that? Well, I show you that because for the uninitiated out there, you may not know this, inside of a mortar or inside of an M80, sometimes, is a quarter of a stick of dynamite. That's what gives it the big kaboom when it's in the air. Now, look, I don't know if the mayors of Seattle or mayor of New York, the district attorneys in these areas will do anything. But, and I'm going to play a clip of Pam Bondi. I don't know if I played it yesterday or not. Planning on charging these rioters with up to 20 years in prison if they assault federal. Those, what I just showed you, that was local stuff. The NYPD is on their own as long as Fat Alvin Bragg is in charge. But Pam Bondi, she's planning on charging many of these people under the Hobbs Act, which could be 20 years in prison.
Bondi speaking in D.C. Bondi speaking in D.C.
Gavin Newsom isn't going to keep California safe. We are. You know, they imposed a curfew last night. I think that helped a bit. But today, we wanted them to declare, they didn't declare an economic disaster out there with all of the businesses. Had they done that, Kelly Loeffler and the Small Business Association could have come in and helped, given federal aid to all of these businesses in California. We've been seeing on the news all of these drugstores getting robbed, getting looted. The Apple store just got raided. I mean, we're all watching this live on the news. And this isn't just looting to me. You think people just run in, take something, leave, and nothing happens? We're using the Hobbs Act. We are charging robbery to protect Californians under this. If you loot a store, we are going to charge you with robbery under the Hobbs Act, and you're looking at maximum 20 years in prison. But we're going to prosecute you for that. Identifying people now, it's a different world. The guy with the cinder blocks.
I know a lot of people are upset with Pam Bondi. It seems like it's been a lot of talk. And look, it's not an unfair criticism at the moment. We'll see all what happens of that. We'll see all of what happens with that. Guys, we'll be back in 1 second. Mike Lindell.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sale because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com. Use promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. But, guys, we got to talk about the real victims here. The real victims of these ICE raids. Is it the victims of illegal immigrant crime? No. Is it the illegal immigrants themselves? No. Is it legal immigrants who waited in line and went through the process that took years of arduous work who are now being lumped in together with the illegal immigrants? No, those aren't the victims either. I'll tell you who the real victims are. The angry white women on Martha's Vineyard. Those are the real victims, okay? Because Martha's Vineyard, they are outraged over a recent ICE raid. Despite the fact that they begged Ron DeSantis to not send 2 planes worth of illegal immigrants. The liberal residents of Martha's Vineyard, as I often describe them, the awfuls, the affluent white female urban liberal, are reportedly outraged after ICE raided the island and neighboring Nantucket saw dozens of illegal immigrants apprehended. Or, as we also say, adios muchacho. Community members told the Washington Post that most of the arrests on the island communities had no criminal record whatsoever, and they were just stopped on their way to work. Funny enough, right? They were stopped on their way to work. Probably on their way to clean those white people's houses and clean their pools and mow their lawns and raise their children and bust their tables, because nobody on Martha's Vineyard could be bothered with doing that. But it turns out among those taken into custody was a gang member and a child sex offender. Sorry, angry white women. We no longer have to listen to you. Sorry, man-bunned, wearing, traffic-stopping, freaky-ass liberal. We don't have to listen to you. Remember these two from yesterday? Who? You know this lady drives a Subaru in her spare time?
But you can if you could just move out the way.
peaceful protest if there's nothing to do? No, it's not. How do y'all as white people feel about stopping a black woman
Who?
from going to work?
Oh no, not work.
Guys, look, and I gotta admit, you know, there was a long time that people like this, there was a long time that we really cared what they had to say. There was a long time where people were really concerned about the yoga ladies on Martha's Vineyard. We were really upset about the women who went to Soul Cycle in Nantucket. We don't care anymore. I'll be honest with you. If the people who live in Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, if their life got exceedingly worse, there's a good chance our lives are going to get a hell of a lot better. Roll the dice. I'll go with it. They're very upset. The outlet reported, quote, the arrests hit the nerve in the liberal enclave, known for welcoming everyone. Presidents, former presidents, have oceanfront property there. LGBTQ activists, racial minorities, and celebrities, and a large cluster of migrants from Brazil. In the wake of the raid, residents warned friends to stay off the roads and held a protest at the ferry dock where the agents were loading illegals into the boats. Longtime resident Charlie Guardino, who filmed himself heckling agents at the ferry dock, told the outlet, "It's bullying. I don't know how many are illegal or illegal. I don't give a shit. I just care how they're being treated. I just care how they're being treated. The poor illegals. Who's gonna take my kids to Little League while I'm cheating on my wife with the lady down the street, which isn't that big of a deal because I'm sure my wife is cheating on me with the pool guy." Charlie Guardino of Martha's Vineyard. Let's not forget that the people of Martha's Vineyard, in the wake of Governor Ron DeSantis sending 2 planes of illegals to the island 3 years ago, the county management said they were facing an unprecedented humanitarian situation and desperately needed volunteers. A wealthy Democratic socialite, Sarah Goulet, created a GoFundMe at the time to help the Martha's Vineyard migrants. You know why? Because it turns out they don't actually care about the migrants. They just care about the migrants who can clean their house. But you see, it's one thing to have too few illegals, and then it's another to have too many having just the right amount to do all your bitch work. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. Of course it is. I got one more story that I want to get to, and then we're gonna laugh at an ugly person because that's how much I enjoy things. Before I get to the last story, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA TV related. Check out the LFA TV store. That's the best way to support this network and everything we've got going on over here. Once again, guys, lfatv.us. Click that donate button. We really do appreciate it. Also, once again, just to round out the show, this Saturday, Kings Park Street Fair. Come on down. We can certainly use the help with volunteers if anybody's in the neighborhood and wants to come on down. Also, I just got the update. I will be in Tampa Bay for the Turning Point Student Action Summit. Very excited about that. July 11th through the 13th. If you're in the area, guys, it's totally worth it to come down. I promise you. It's a lot of fun. It really is a great time. They put on a great event. And come meet me, which is totally worth it. So, before we get to the last story, we got to talk about this. I encountered a woman on TikTok. Who's very upset. She's very upset about the treatment of illegal immigrants in this country. And she says that if you even have to question whether or not someone is legal or illegal, you should just get off her page. We're gonna watch this together because why the hell not? Check this out.
Don't come on my page and say that people should be in this country legally. Don't fucking do it. This is ridiculous. It's inhumane. You are a human being, and don't you dare use Jesus' name or God's name in this and say that this is what he would want and pretend to be a Christian because you're not. This is pure evil. You are scum of the earth. These are people. These are mothers. These are fathers. These are human beings. And all you care about is where they are geographically. Shame on you.
It's almost hard to believe. It's almost hard to believe there's no wedding ring on that finger. I can't imagine why.
Do better. Be better.
Yep. There you have it. One of the awfuls. Absolutely, definitely falls under the awful category. One of the affluent white female urban well, I guess you could probably change the F in that word to something else. All I hear is the sound from the Muppets, like wah 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 wah. Ah, the hell with her. Who cares? Who cares? I'm sure her ex-husband is much happier. I'm sure her ex-husband is very happy right now with somebody else. You know who's not happy right now? David Hogg. You guys know David Hogg. David Hogg is the you guys know, let me pop David Hogg up here. You guys remember old David Hogg? He is the former vice chairman of the DNC who lied about being at a school shooting in order to become famous and get into Harvard. Well, it turns out the DNC, election deniers, have now overturned David Hogg's election and removed him as vice chairman of the DNC. It's great. It's great. Absolutely majestic. So happy for you, David Hogg. You lasted like 3 months, which is probably the longest job you've ever had in your entire life. Maybe don't go out there and say that you're going to ignore Democratic donors' wishes and primary all of the old people who continue to give them everything they want. Sucks to suck, kid. Welcome to the real world. Guys, it is 2 o'clock. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. We got a couple seconds left, so Will Johnson will be rounding out in just a minute. I wonder who does her makeup. I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody does her makeup, to be honest with you. Guys, it's a beautiful Thursday here in the Northeast. Go out, guys, go have fun. I will catch you guys back live tomorrow. Special guest, Mike LaPetri, former assemblyman, former congressional candidate. He's going to be coming on the show. I'll catch you guys back live tomorrow. Until then, stay loud.